In order to turn my dreams into reality, I speak it out and then I got a prophecy. Yeah.
Congratulations on Know Me Better.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really excited to have this track out. Yeah.
Yeah, man, your production levels in that are like incredible. Really, really crisp, clean, and everything. Did you mix that yourself, or did you have work with a team to mix that?
I worked with DNA from Sony, so they're like an amazing production team, and it's so true. Like when I first went into the session with this song, they had that production like kind of set, and like as soon as I heard the production with no lyric or any melody, like I was like, yes, because it's mixed so well. You're right, like everything. I fell in love with it. So
and your vocals, cool. Man, your vocals are so strong, in all your music. But this one, like I don't know, like I can sense that you're really starting to find yourself and like taking off now, like in this kind of the music scene itself. It's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I am finding my voice in terms of like the style and sound of music that I want to do, and but it's interesting you say that it's like still a powerful vocal, because I felt like I was like holding back so much on this song. Like usually like I'd be like going for it and singing like so much more higher notes and doing runs and riffs all over the place. But I think that was the beauty of this. It felt really balanced with the vocal, the lyrics, and the production, and just the overall thing as like, it was very wholesome, I think.
Exactly. And you know, like too, when I say powerful, it's the emotion in the song is like so deep, you know. It's just like, you should know me better than this. You don't have to sing that high to like hit a powerful note, you know. The fact that there's so much emotion and body within your like your lyrics and what you're trying to like say to people, you know, and say within the song, like that's where really the power came. Like, and then your melodies and stuff just all sat really, really beautifully like throughout the whole entire song. It's crazy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I love working with DNA. They bring out like a side of me, and I really I love working with them. We always have so good like chemistry in the studio, and we did it over Zoom. So like we did it using this like virtual software where like I was here in my home studio like recording here, but it was coming up on their like computers like as a live stream in Sydney. So like super high quality HD vocals were done like in different parts of Australia virtually. So I was just praying. I was like, if my Wi-Fi crashes, I'm not going to get this take.
Man, that's like, it's so good to hear you do that, because like, I don't know, I think that inspires me to know that there's like opportunities out there where you can actually record in isolation and in places that are far away. Because I know that you've got a very big heart for the people in Australia and in Indigenous communities that are isolated. So is this something that you kind of inspired you with the lockdown, that you can now go on and you want to record with like people in remote communities or inspire them like that?
Yeah, well, I didn't even know like it was possible. I didn't even know there was software out there that allowed you to do that.
Yeah.
To actually record like an actual proper, you know, professional demo type song. So it was new to me as well, but it definitely gives me some ideas to in the future to be working remotely with people, and even like my own career, you know, I don't have to pay a freaking plane ticket to go to America and spend all this money. I can just do it in my own home.
Yeah, especially with where the world's at nowadays, you can create high quality, world-class content and you still be at home.
Yeah, so true. I can stay in my pajamas and don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. So with your music, obviously, like you've taken, you know, with the X Factor and then the Eurovision, and just like you just before you came into lockdown, you did a 50 show tour. Like that's incredible, man. Like, can you tell me about how that impacted you? Because you're obviously like going around and impacting a lot of people, a lot of Indigenous people too.
Yeah. So like a huge part of my identity is my culture and who I am and my Aboriginality, because it makes such a big part of who I am, like my DNA. It's who I am. And so the tour last year, it was a long tour. It was about 3 months, about 50 shows. I think it was like 55 shows, to be honest, but I don't know. It was a big number of shows and a big number of events where I was going into communities and working really hands-on with the community, and especially it was very youth-based, and like I would hold these workshops prior to my concerts later that night, where I would talk a bit about myself, a bit about my journey, a bit about where I'm from, and some of the lessons I've learned to get to where I am today as a young person and a young Indigenous person. And it was very much around the topic of, you know, no matter where you're from or who you are or how difficult your circumstances are, you know, you're in charge of your own choices, and you can really make your dreams happen for yourself, like kind of like I did. So that tour was so special to me because, you know, I got to connect on that kind of ground level basis and just connect with my people and see places in Australia that I've never seen before. And it was really good for my identity as well and my cultural experience as well. Like I really needed that, and it was good for the soul. Yeah,
definitely. Did you go to Roburn?
No, we didn't go to Roburn. We
Karratha ways.
We went to Karratha.
Yeah,
but I don't think we went to Roburn. No,
Roburn's basically a little like Indigenous community just out of Karratha, so they would have all come in and hung out.
It was like a 50-day tour. I can't remember.
No, that's fair enough, man. Like everything is just merged into one.
Yeah, I know we definitely did Karratha because for one of my single shoots, we actually photographed in front of the big red. They have like huge red like mountains, like red big hills.
Yeah.
So one of my Spirit, which was the tour, Spirit and Beyond tour. So that was the song for the tour, and that's what really that writing that song Spirit early 2019 was the kind of catalyst for the tour, because that song Spirit was about identity and about connection, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to connect with people, so that was like the theme song for it. But anyway, like we saw amazing towns and amazing communities like Karratha, and it was good to see that part of Australia.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. It's good, so good that you're actually heading out there and doing that, because you are a natural born leader, and you've been, you know, like you've worked hard to get to where you are, but the universe has really allowed you to be able to do that. And I can see that you're a natural leader. Did you accept that as coming into it, or have you always had that desire to like lead and like influence and impact?
I think definitely like I kind of grew into that kind of you know, because starting off and in this industry, and just even a few years back when I was a younger teenager, like I used like my self-esteem and like my confidence wasn't that good, you know, and so I was still working myself out, but I definitely grew into realizing like kind of more of like a responsibility that I have with this platform that I have, and also just like working with youth. Like back in high school, I used to study being a teacher's assistant, so I've always had a love for kids and youth engagement and education as well. So it kind of like all worked out for me, but it was something that I definitely grew into for sure, because a few years back I definitely couldn't even get up on the stage and sing when I was younger because I was so shy.
Man, it's so incredible to see how far you come, and like diamonds are made by a lot of pressure, bro. So I reckon you're a diamond, you know, being created, and you're going to impact a lot more people too. This is only the beginning.
Thank you. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, I appreciate the effort and work that you do. I lived in Karratha for a couple of years, and my dad were pastors of a church up there.
Oh, you actually lived there?
Yeah, we worked with the Roburn community, and honestly, like it impacted me a lot seeing how much, I don't know, how much you can actually change lives just by being there and like talking to people, you know, and showing them the direction. And so like when I hear that you're going, same with Stan Walker when he did his tour, when he first hit the scene, like I've seen him there, like, and it was incredible. So good on you. Got a question about Know Me Better. I'll bring it back to Know Me Better because this is an incredible song. What inspires you? Like, what was there a certain specific thing, you know, or somebody that like took you to that point, or is this like a metaphoric song, or is it like a personal like experience?
Yeah, this song is it's not like a personal anecdote from a relationship that I was in, no, but obviously, like, I guess we've all been in a relationship. There's like mistrust. So it was that kind of personal aspect. But I mean, as a songwriter and as a creative, like when we get in the studio, like we don't know what we're going to come up with on that day. It could be a song about politics. It could be a song about love or heartbreak or happiness or partying or having fun. So when I go in the studio, there's not really a plan. It's just kind of whatever flows naturally.
Yeah.
But the words, like the way I really truly connect with this song is the words "know me better." Like I feel like I do really know myself better now, and I feel like I'm coming of age, and this time in isolation has been really good for me to really get like a new perspective on myself and myself as an artist, and really like take in what's happened in the last few years, and it was quite overwhelming actually. If I like early this year when we were first in lockdown, and I had all this free time, all this spare time to myself, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, do I just go and be normal for a few months? Which is what I did actually. I just kind of stepped away from music and kind of just asked myself a lot of questions, and I used the time to really set some new goals and really get a new perspective. And I feel like a lot of growth happened, which made me really excited, and this song really like shows that.
Man, I love the fact that you said you learnt to love yourself better, because like it is so true. How you learn when to and when not to say things. You learn about yourself in experiences, and like even though you're singing about like an experience, it's like you're looking at the mirror and that's about you. And like that hit me super hard just saying, because it's like, wow, like it's so good that you can write a song and sit there and you're experiencing it from both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's the beauty of music. Like there's so many ways to interpret things, and songs mean different things to different people, and it just adds that deeper meaning why I love the song so much, because it is personal in that type of way of like knowing myself better and being proud of who I am.
Yeah. When do you reckon that you really learnt to love yourself and I mean like I mean that in the most sincere way, it's not about like stuck on really loving yourself.
Like I'm still so young, like I'm 20 years old, and there's so much life journey that I still have to go on. I've always had a strong sense of self, and I think after going, I guess, just quickly, like through my first relationship, I really saw the importance. I always see those memes and those, not memes, those quotes and stuff online that say like, oh, you need to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And I always used to read that and think like, oh my god, what the hell?
Yeah.
Now I'm at a point where I'm like, wow, it's so important, because you have to love who you are before you can spread that to everybody else, or the people that you want to spread that love to. And like I think definitely this year has been a big year for me personally to really realize who I am. And and it's been a bit emotional, to be honest. And I've always been proud of who I am, and I've always known who I am. But certain things I've had to face also this year personally with my upbringing and how that's had an effect on me. So I've realized a lot of things about myself, and I feel really confident, and I am happy.
Man, it's so good too, because I know that like you're the sort of person that's going to change, whether it's one person's life that you come into contact with, or you're on stage and the energy that you put out to people, you're going to change people's lives, because you've been through stuff in your own life, and people are going to relate to that. Even if you don't say that to them, like they literally feel your energy and they're going to relate. So you're going to make massive change. Where I really feel inspired by you. Actually, like.
Thank you. It means a lot. Yeah, and I know, like in time, like I know I do have a story to tell, and I'll get there in time. But I feel like people are connecting with me at the moment and with my music, because it's coming from a true and honest place, and I sing with heart and I sing with meaning, and you're right, when I'm at a show, when I'm doing a show, like I give so much energy out, and I can really see people connecting, and it makes me feel really, really good. So yeah, it's great that I've had success already, because it just makes me excited, because I know I've got so much more to prove and so much more to give out to people.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good. It's just the beginning. How long would you say when you first started music to, to now? How many years have you really like taken it seriously and gone, okay, this is what I want to do?
I feel like this year is the first year for me for that, because like the first few years, I was on the show, and I won the show, and then I was thrust into like Eurovision, and I was focused on that, and then after, like I was really caught up just with the whole how do I explain this? I was caught up just with the whole like whirlwind of it all, and just obviously being young and just in it. Like, of course, anyone would get caught up in all that, but I had to like that's why this year was so important, because I never had that time to really just sit and just reflect on all that and what it really meant, and what I actually learned from that, and what it actually means for me as an artist. And yeah, so yeah, those first few years were difficult for me to really understand what this industry is, and what does it actually take to be successful. And yeah, like I learned a lot about the industry, and it takes more than just like a good voice and good looks to make it. You've got to have a story, you've got to have a heart, you've got to be humble, and you've got to be who you are, and be unapologetically you. And
yeah,
and I felt like I couldn't be that in the past, because I didn't really know myself.
yeah.
But I feel like this year I'm definitely beginning to come into my own, and it's so exciting. And this release is definitely where it's going. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure in this industry, and like there are times where I feel like I have to be someone who I'm not, because other people feel like that's where I should go, and other people have other agendas with your career, because they've got to make money out of it. And I don't know, there's heaps of stuff, but I'm at a point where I'm just getting confident just to be unapologetically me. And if you don't like it, well, I can't do anything about that. I just got to continue to be myself and make the music that I love. And it makes me really excited, and I feel like I'm proud to be at that point, because I know it takes a lot in this industry to really be yourself and be confident in that, when you have so many other people telling you should be this, be that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like your music, it doesn't sound right, blah blah blah. So I'm finding my feet, and at 20 I think that's a big thing. So yeah.
Especially with your mentality and the way that you speak at 20 years old, man. There's a lot of people that are just like doing the same thing and not standing out at that 20, and just caught in like patterns. And you're breaking out, and you've really just come on the scene, and the way you're leading, bro, the way you're speaking, it's men of many more years than 20, that's for sure. For that.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, I owe props to my dad. My dad's an amazing guy, and yeah, he really has made me the person I am today, and especially my team now, my music team, who I've surrounded myself with. They're great people too, and yeah, surrounded myself with great people. So that's why I guess I'm the way I am, because of good people. So it's it's so important to have great people around you that you can learn from.
And it's cool that you said about your dad, man, because it's so important to, like, as young men, it's important to have a role model, father figure that can lead by example and to help you and grow you. I was very lucky to have a dad that loved me and really, really was an example to me, and he set that all the way through. So having a father there by your side, like, that shows just how strong a leader you're gonna be too, because you had someone there to like really help you and turn you into the man you are.
Yeah, my dad. He's a huge fan. He's my biggest fan.
Yeah.
My dad. He's
yeah,
so
that's
cute.
awesome. Oh, that's sick. So with this release, and like, are you still in lockdown up there, or are you?
Yes, we're in stage 4 in Melbourne. Oh,
Melbourne, yeah, true. That's crazy. Over in WA, we're so lucky, man. Like, we're rolling
I
around
know.
like not even existing. So with
Yeah,
the lockdown, what are you planning on doing? You know, you've got obviously the release going on. Are you gonna like? What have you got planned for this next step?
um, well, we're in talks of releasing some more music this year. We've been actually this morning I had a meeting about brainstorming. I've got so many songs like on my phone, like so many demos, so many songs that are unreleased that I've gathered up over the last 3 years. Probably about I think I've got about 30 or 40 songs. I think that are ready to
So hard
release.
not to release.
Yeah, and so we were just brainstorming this morning with my management team, like what songs would be cool to go out with, and just trying to really work with my record label to yeah, just get a strategy and plan to release, because I there's been like really dry spells in my career where I haven't been able to release music, and yeah, it's all about consistency, and I just want to keep feeding my fans, and yeah, so new music is on the way, which I'm super excited about. And moving into next year, I'll be definitely writing some brand new, fresh material as well, kind of in the Know Me Better kind of realm of things.
Yep.
Super urban, moody R&B. Like I feel like people are gonna love it, to be honest, when I start really putting out the music that I really love and really connect with, and the music that I would listen to.
Yeah. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for what you're gonna bring. Who's somebody that's really influenced you with your music, like your singing and your songwriting?
So I grew up with my dad and my brother, and my dad was a huge fan of like rock and roll music and like country music, and not like my dad was born in the 1950s. My dad's like pretty old. So I was brought up on really like old school rock and roll music, from like the Eagles to Creedence to like the Bee Gees, like some Elvis, like the Dire Straits, like
My
a
dad
lot
was
of
in the 50s, so I know exactly what you're saying.
exactly, you know what I mean? So I didn't really grow up listening to pop music or R&B music, and definitely not hip hop music. My dad did not like hip hop music and rappers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in the past few years, I've had to go on my own journey of discovering the music that I love.
Yeah.
And like in the past few years, I've only just got into listening to some of the greats that probably probably the whole rest of the world have known about for ages. People like, Chris Brown and Usher and Mariah Carey, and like some of the old school artists and producers like Babyface and Quincy Jones, and there's so many. But you know what I mean? Like I've had to go on my own self-discovery of the music that I love in the past few years, and I feel like like I said before, this year is where I've really like made up my mind of the music that I've fallen in love with. And some people that really inspire me, artists, vocally, there's a lot. Oh my gosh, like Usher is a big one, vocally, and Chris Brown. Bruno Mars is a big one as well. I'm a big fan of Bruno Mars.
Incredible.
Like Stevie Wonder is also amazing, and Michael Jackson. A songwriter who I really enjoy, and you probably wouldn't know, but she actually wrote all of her 19 number one hits, and Mariah Carey wrote all of her 19 number one hits. And I'm like, wow, I would really like to be known as a songwriter, as well. So that's someone who I am inspired by songwriting. Like Sia, I love Sia. I love her songwriting. Babyface, the producer, I love his music. There's heaps of people that I've really discovered in the past few years that I just think, wow, I would love to make music like them. So yeah, like Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Usher, Mariah Carey, and Chris Brown. My favorite artists.
Man, it's funny. Like I've had feel like I've had a very similar kind of upbringing, like in the music sense of like what I was when I was in church, like kind of raised in church. So I didn't really listen to any kind of like music.
Yes, no, seriously, that's the part that I left out. Like my dad, like I grew up singing in church. That was where I first started.
I thought you had a church background. I could tell that.
Yeah. So when I was 3 years old, I started in church, and like I would be singing every single Sunday with my auntie, who was the lead singer, and her two children would be the backup, so we'd be doing the harmonies, and like I loved it. It was awesome. I loved singing in church, and it really gave me that sense. That's probably a big thing. Like my faith has brought me like so far in my life, just with all the struggles and things that I've been through, but also just having that emotion when you're singing. I don't know, it kind of gave me an edge to really connect with my songs, because I guess when I was singing in church, it's like, you know, you're singing like to God, so you just put your heart and soul into it. So that's kind of something that I have, you know, brought through with my music, is just singing with heart and soul and with intention. But yeah, I had a church upbringing, and that's why I wasn't allowed to listen to pop music.
Yeah.
and the hip hop music, because it was the devil's music.
Yeah.
But actually seriously, like now I listen to the hip hop music and some of the stuff that they're rapping about, like, wow, no wonder my dad didn't want me to listen to those things, because it, you know, yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
like there's so much.
And it's so good, man. Like we need more people like you coming on the scene that are gonna literally, you can write beautiful music, and you don't have to be derogatory. You don't have to bring down and break people down and talk to women, you know, in a way like you can actually build them up and inspire. You're gonna inspire a generation, bro. I believe in for myself too. Like I want to change people's hearts in the way they view people and stuff, because it's missing, you know.
Yeah, so true.
If you're not, it's whatever, but you've got to show love.
Yeah, for 100%. And yeah, and like yeah, I want to be that difference, and have that difference in my music where there's actually real stories behind it and actually a real meaning behind it. Yeah, I might release a song about being at a club and having fun and dancing, because everyone loves to do that. But then another track that I'll release is about having hope and making it through your struggles, you know?
Man, I've been told I got to wrap up, but dude, it was absolutely pleasure, man, talking to you. And like genuinely, you have such a very, very good presence about you, man. I'm inspired and I'm excited to see you shine.
Oh, that means a lot. Thanks so much. No, I appreciate it. Great chat. Yeah, I think, yeah, it was awesome. So thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome, man. You stay good, and seriously, stay strong and keep doing what you're doing, man. You're amazing.
I will. And love the hair too.
Thanks, my bro. Thanks. Love the hair too. I was like, I've got to have it out. He's going to have his hair out.
If I ever give it that long, get it that long, you'll definitely know about it, because we'll have another chat and I'll be like, look, my hair's longer than yours, sucked in.
Yeah, I need to get it cut the ends off. But yeah, no, your probably hair's almost that length anyway. It's just a bit way more.
Oh, it grows so long, man. Like I didn't realize how hairy I was.
Man.
All good, man. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Have a good one, my brother.
We'll talk soon, yeah? Catch up.